Hi, everybody. Laura here. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm excited to be joining you for the summer school. Today, I've got a project using some of the new Teacher's Pet Release. This is the Lunchbox Notes stamp set and coordinating dies. Okay, so here's how the dies come. Really cute. They come all wired together. You got to take your metal snips and snip them apart. And really easy to do. But I want to show you something. You see how those little metal things stick out when you trim them? You have got to trim that off. The other day I was working with one that I was too lazy to trim it up nice and close, so I had those one pokey things sticking out, and it stuck me. It went right into my finger, the whole thing, and I went through the roof. And I said to myself, I will not be lazy again. I will always trim off those little extra metal things. Okay, so now that little frame die measures about 2.5 by 2.5. So I went ahead and cut some little note cards that would fit right behind that frame. They're just 2.5 by 2.5. Really simple with some Nina Solar White cardstock. And I made 4 of them. I'm going to make some little lunchbox notes, little notes that you could tuck in your kid's lunchbox or anybody. And okay, now here's a little rounded square that I also die cut with some white. All these little things coordinate perfectly with the Lunchbox Notes stamp set. So you'll see all these sentiments and images coordinate great. Here's one that says, "You rock." And I want to show you how I inked that up with 3 different colors. I started at the top, I inked it up with some sea glass ink. And then in the middle, I did a little Audrey blue. And then on the bottom was Island blue. So once you get that inked up in 3 different colors, I kind of went back in with my other colors, kind of blended it, just tapped it on the edge. It doesn't contaminate your ink pad too bad at all. If not, just rub it off on some cardstock and you'll clean it right up. Now I'm huffing on it, I'm blowing on it to get it nice and wet, and then press down really hard, and you should get a nice, sometimes it takes a little practice. You can see here I've done a few. And the nice thing about these dies is they're open, so you can set that right over top after you've stamped your image, and you'll be sure to get the perfect cut and centered and everything. Okay, so now I'm moving on to the smiley face, which coordinates perfect with that circle die. It's so cute. I love that smiley face. Now I'm just coloring him in really simple with some yellow Copic markers with some 3 different shades blending. Now, you don't have to limit yourself to just using these for kids' lunchboxes. These dies could be perfect for all types of occasions. I mean, you could make it definitely more of an adult little note card, little note, something that you could put for a gift. You could even, if you just took a paper punch, a little hole punch, you could turn it into a little tag. So it doesn't have to be so elementary. You could definitely make it more adult. Okay, so now I'm moving on to the cookie image. This is so cute. This little circle chocolate chip cookie. I guess it could be oatmeal cookie. It could be all kinds of cookies. But it coordinates also perfect with that circle die, just like the smiley face one does. And then I'll color that in with some brown Copic markers and also shade that in with some darker shades. I'm making mine a chocolate chip cookie. This is what my family loves. I'll tell you what, I love a chocolate chip cookie. I would rather have a homemade chocolate chip cookie than any candy that you could buy. Definitely homemade baked goods. Okay, so now for this last one, I'm going to die cut that square right into the green frame. See how I did that? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little mini shaker note card. So I'm stamping the sentiment on the front of the little card base. Okay, and then just to finish it off, I'm going to add just a couple of little outline stars. See that little tiny star image? I'm going to ink that up as well. I'm using Memento because it works great with the Copic markers. And I'm just stamping just a few of those around the sentiment and coloring those in with Copic markers. Again, very, very simple 2-color shading, I think, is all I did, just to a light and a dark and kind of blend it together. And then next thing we're going to do is take a piece of clear acetate or clear cardstock and glue that to the back of my window frame thing on the green. And once you get that nice and glued, then I'm going to take some foam tape and just some really, really, really thin strips of foam tape and adhere that all on the back side. This is going to allow us to create our shaker. I mean, who doesn't love a shaker? I've told you before how much I love shakers, but now a mini shaker? Are you kidding me? Forget about it. I love it. I can't take it. I can't stand how adorable a mini shaker is. And let me tell you, you could use this for any occasion. Doesn't have to be for kids' lunchbox. You could do it for birthdays. Put it on a gift. Pop a little hole in the top and string it. Make it a tag. You could make it for anything. Got to make a mini shaker. You haven't lived until you've made a mini shaker. Okay, so now I'm just assembling these little note cards together. I'm just adhering with some Tombow Mono adhesive, and then I use some foam tape to pop up the little squares, as well as the smiley face. I popped that up as well. Now, before we go, I wanted to show you. I went and showed the kids these little lunchbox notes, and I wanted to show you their reaction and how much of a kick they got out of it. So here they are. Enjoy.
These are like totally cute. I would love to have these in my lunch. Oh my gosh, you rock. So what do you like, Emma?
I really like this one because it shakes. Mom, I want you to put this in my lunchbox along with a real cookie. Thanks.
Mom, this would be just a great card to put in my lunchbox because it would really make me smile. Hey, Mom, you got one with pizza on it? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was my son, and yes, he was making pizza. It's never a dull moment around here. So you can see these lunchbox notes are kid approved. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day.